Love this fucking show.
What's up, y'all?
What you talking about? Yes, Hot 60. You know it's about time. You guys bring it in. Come on now.
What up? It's Cattiis, your sarcastic pervert. Host of this motherfucking crazy ass podcast. I got my co-host.
Be in the building. What's happening? What's happening?
And also, okay, he ain't gonna say nothing.
Nope. Let him rock out.
Krunkle Sam.
That is not rocking out.
I am crocking. Hey, listen. Krunkle Sam is in the house. I'm
Yes,
gonna do
sir.
what I do.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes,
and we
sir.
got our very special guest,
Special guest.
comedian,
Yes,
Rick
sir.
Wayne.
What's up,
everybody?
Wayne?
Thank you.
All right.
Welcome to our show, our Hot 60 podcast. Shout out to Digital Mass and Mr. Cope. Thank you so much for making us dope. It is May
Don't say dope unless you got any.
20th, 2018. Look at that drove. I be setting myself up. I've had the date wrong all year, man.
Wow.
5/20/18.
That's a bit.
Man, I've just been chilling, coming back from nothing, doing shit. Getting ready to go to Phoenix Memorial Day weekend, and I'm gonna come back, start really rocking the stages more.
Okay.
Head up to Rick Wayne's shit more often, even though it's all the way in Marietta.
OTP.
That ain't far.
It ain't that far.
Right. You're all the way in Marietta. I guess
I live in
Marietta.
Lawrenceville.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not very far
okay.
either. You know.
Yeah.
Just depends on what time of day.
Yes.
I don't give a fuck.
It's all fucked in Atlanta at this point, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And now this city is getting taller. You know what I'm saying? They're just introducing more and more people, but they're not growing it on the ground. They're building more high rises, high density housing. You
Where
know
there's
what I'm
no,
saying?
yeah, they're like, we don't need any roads or anything for all these people. Which is,
Right.
Well, they did just bring like what, $175,000. I mean, 75,000 new jobs into Atlanta for the next coming.
that
couple
people
years.
will be fired from in 2 months. So
I'm about to say, which company was that?
Amazon and
Okay.
Amazon's
Amazon is
open
full
here.
of shit. They pay you like $8 an hour.
Motherfucker's still gonna need a job,
Right.
Okay.
Could be a part
and not everyone's working for $8 an hour. You just a hater. You just a hating motherfucker.
No. What's been good with you, B?
Man.
How was your day? What did you do today?
Didn't you take a trip recently? Weren't you down in Florida or something?
Man, I went to Miami. Didn't want to come back, man. One of them trips.
You going to Miami? Yeah, who wants to come back from Miami?
Fuck.
You
It
know?
was just wonderful out there. I can.
How much ass did you see? Is Miami where there's
It's just
Florida ass?
it's ass everywhere.
Because you know Florida really don't have ass.
It's just beautiful, fine ass people. It's just I just sat there and laughed. There's just so much beauty. You know what I mean? There's so much beauty around. I don't care if your girl's there. There's probably good looking guys she's looking at. Good looking girls.
She's looking
I'm
at
like,
his dick print. So.
hey, you know.
I know I am.
You know what I mean? Do what you do.
Yeah.
I told her when we were out in Miami, I was like, I kept joking with her, getting mad at her. I was like, where the fuck is your thong bikini? I was like, we're in Miami. I'm trying to see ass out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else got their ass out. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
Like, I was
you're
like,
looking at her ass. She's
Right.
trying to be respectful.
No, my girl, you know she's a lady. But she
Yeah.
would laugh, you know what I mean? But nah, loving Miami, man. Shout out to Miami. God damn. It just shows me how poor I am when I'm out there.
you know,
like,
you think you got it
fuck,
going
yeah, you
until
think
you
you
hit
got some
Miami.
money.
You
Yeah.
know, fuck
You're
that.
like, oh.
Look, we ate lunch and it was $100. It was like,
$100 for lunch.
like $100.
Did you drink?
Shit, man. Like,
Did you have a drink?
Was it
Heroin
cocaine
drink.
with it?
right? I'm like,
I want
the
cocaine
fuck,
with a $100 dinner.
That's probably
So
what comes
lunch.
with it. It was
Yeah.
probably just Zaxby's and they just threw in a bag of Coke. They're like, welcome to Miami.
right? South Beach diet.
You like
South Beach
chicken?
diet.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what Will Smith was talking about.
But yeah, man, I just didn't want to come back, and then I've just been on the grind working lately, and today I made a mistake and fucked around, ate a mushroom,
One or two.
and it hit later on. I forgot about the shit and smacked the shit out of me later.
So are you tripping right now?
Nah, I just got the lingering effects and shit right now. It's still, but But I'm feeling wavy, feeling great. I'm glad to be here. Hot 60.
That's what's up. What
Mushroom
about you,
edition.
sir?
Well, you made it on time, so
exactly.
I mean that speaks volumes.
I'm loving life, man. You know, I'm
Punctual stuff.
You know,
Going to warp zone.
doing the disability hustle, trying to, you know, doing all the doctor's appointments
That's
to
awesome.
the Social Security. You
Talk
know,
about that.
it's good, man. I mean, I'm looking at
The
another
disability
surgery though.
hustle.
You know, I am looking at another surgery. Got to see some fucking neurosurgeons. That's why I smoke. You know, goddamn surgeries. Motherfuckers.
Disability hustle sounds like just an
Yeah,
oxymoron.
I know.
But that's always
Counterproductive.
Oh, it is, man. Well, they're gonna refuse you. They're gonna refuse you no matter
If you
how
have
good
to
your
fight
case
for
is.
it.
Pretty much, they're gonna fucking refuse you the
you
first
gotta do it
time,
the second time.
and then you gotta get a lawyer. And the doctor's already telling me that I should have a lawyer already. So it
you
looks
just
really good.
just get the lawyer right away. You be good.
It looks really good.
But-
And my stepmom is coming down to visit me. She's probably watching right now. Hi, Susan. She's coming down to visit me. I haven't seen her in 30 years.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom's last girlfriend from my childhood.
So she came for your 50th birthday, or?
No.
I'm just fucking with you.
You ain't funny.
We clowning.
Speaking
baby.
of
You know?
disability hustle and deadbeats,
Hey.
I'm just playing, y'all. But this is serious. Michigan dad, the most wanted deadbeat, pleads guilty to $559K child support bill.
Fuck.
All right, this motherfucker's child support bill, because he was on disability, for 4 kids was $14 a month.
All he had to pay was $14 a month.
For 4
Well,
kids?
until they found out he had a $2 million internet business.
Damn.
So then they got.
Wow, he's a scammer.
Damn.
Yeah, so yeah. Ain't
Wow.
that shit crazy? He was on disability and everything, and he had a $2 million internet business paying $14 child. That's
Damn.
some shit. Can you,
See, that's why if I ever hit the lottery, I'm paying off everybody I ever knew. I'm
Yeah.
just going backwards in time, going, this ex-wife can
sold
have
the
a couple
business,
$1,000.
too.
This ex-wife can have a couple $1,000. My kid can have an extra $100,000, and then I'm going away. See
You're
you
just gonna
later.
open up the floodgates and they coming for your ass.
I'm not giving
Coming
my
for it all.
ex-wife $100,000.
He-
Right.
I'm not.
if he would have never sold the business, they
You
would
pay
have
the
never
hitman.
found out. He would have still been paying 14. Man, he's 64 years old, just going to jail for this shit.
Damn.
64.
Hey, how much time did he get?
I think till he pays it off. They haven't really
Wait a
decided.
minute, how can he pay? That's the thing. See, another hustle
He
from
sold
the
a
man.
$2 million business.
I'm gonna
10
get you
years, yeah.
in jail till you can pay it off, but you can't pay it off because you're in jail, so you're gonna spend the rest of your fucking life in jail.
He was in Canada the whole time. They found his ass in Canada. So, this motherfucker, think about it.
All assholes go to Canada.
$14 a month.
I'm thinking that in my head, like, why the fuck you ain't go to Mexico?
You know what I'm saying?
like,
Only fucking
Free
stupid
health
people go to
insurance,
Canada.
probably. He's probably like, I'm gonna take the
He's
whole
like, no, I'm gonna go to
ride."
Canada.
I'm going to Canada. It's cold over there. No one's gonna look for me up there,
Right.
especially with this mustache. Look at that porn mustache, man.
Yeah.
He's either a porn star or a fucking terrorist. Look
looks
at
like-
that
he looks
mustache,
like,
man. You know what I'm saying? Look at that shit.
It looks like Borat.
Come on, that
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, straight up. Straight
I'm
up.
going to
Matter of
pay.
fact, I'm almost willing to bet that picture might not even be real. That can't be him.
It probably is, but I
It's
seen that
either-
mustache and I was like, he could
It's
use
either
some good
Sacha
pussy.
Baron Cohen or Freddie
He got
Mercury.
that, but look at the nose.
Right.
He got that schnoz. Look, that's a good pussy eating face right
Yeah,
there.
eats a lot of butt.
No, I don't want the butt.
Eats a lot of butt.
But he got like that clit and lip Anyways, y'all.
Man, you
whatever.
guys are retarded. We need another clip.
I'm just, yeah.
New
What's
clip.
up?
Oh, sure. We'll go into another.
Who's
We
more?
got another one. Let's get into
Because
another
you know
one.
what I'm going.
Oh my god!
Shit!
What the fuck is going
Are
on?
you fucking kidding me?
Holy shit! What
That
is
is-
this?
Oh, this is called the boss.
No.
What?
Hey,
No.
But here's
I
what
just would love to
No.
go down the beach and just
Like, how is
No.
like?
What does
No.
it look like in the back?
I'm waiting for
They-
No.
these out of shape 50-year-old
letters,
guys walking
one
around the
word.
beach looking
They
like that.
need two of them.
No fucks given. You know, it's like I don't give
Yeah.
a fuck. I'm
You
just
can't
trying to
even
get some
see
pussy.
the
Oh,
side part.
shit.
Wait, that's Miami, by the way. You know?
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's where he
Yeah.
keeps his
You know,
coat.
don't act like that in Miami.
Right.
too.
You gotta have how do you?
He's got an 8 ball under his ball sack.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
He's really not
Nah,
endowed
he's
at
got
all.
the-
it's just a fucking an 8 ball.
How do you get fitted for that though? It's like, what if you have a big ass dick?
What,
like,
you gotta walk around all day with a fucking
coil that
Viagra
shit
in
up?
your fucking hand? I mean, like, so you can drop a Viagra every 4 hours
And
to
do you
maintain.
come out? Do you come out of the dressing room
I mean,
and
what
go?
do you gotta do on the? I'm sorry.
That shit like at the tan line probably looks like a pirate eye and shit.
I mean, because, you know, if you get bored, it's just going to fall off, right? I mean, like, you know, you're going to fall asleep.
I'm telling you, I'd be such a pervert if I seen that. I would just be like,
Does he buy his drinks color coordinated with his...
Okay, but what y'all think he's buying those drinks for, a girl or another dude?
Another dude.
Because the girl's going to be like, no.
No girl would let her dude leave the house dressed like that. I mean, like, my thing is, like, don't you have anybody who loves you?
I'm sorry.
I don't know, man. You know, sometimes, like, I hate to put my girl on blast again, but sometimes it's like, yeah, she'll like me, like, half-ass naked. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, she just be like, yeah, I like that. She want me to wear Speedos and shit. I'm not wearing no fucking Speedos, all right?
No.
I'm not wearing Speedos.
You put on the thong, and I'll put on the Speedo.
She wants to see the print.
Yeah, well, just
you
show
know
it.
Nobody else wants
You
to see
gonna
that
fuck
shit
with these
neither.
polo shorts.
Y'all don't understand about the cluster print. Okay.
No one else wants.
See, we don't know about that.
No,
what is a
yes,
cluster
what are you
print?
talking about?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Okay, everybody knows about the sweatpant print, right?
Oh, okay.
But there's also a church pant print. The church pant print, the dick is always up here. Y'all know what I'm talking about when you wear the church pant?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so you got the church pant, but then the cluster is like when you wear something tight, and it's almost like a Superman symbol distorted. So the bigger it gets.
You really breaking it down.
I'm serious. I mean, you know I'm cockeyed.
Right.
So,
Damn.
That's why you're good at this subject.
No pun intended, right?
But you know what?
I stay on the cock watch.
Just to stay on the subject real quick. Do you know how much they charge for that? Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's probably like $250. I couldn't
for
even.
the cocksock?
What do you call it?
So
Cocksock.
we have no
Cocksock,
information
sling
on this
cock.
at all. We have no information on this at all, like where this picture was
You
taken.
have to be careful what you look up.
Yeah.
You put the picture out there for the people to see, though.
It was on Facebook. I snapped it.
Oh.
You could use this to just get
I'm gonna look this up
get somebody back that you didn't like and just make a Craigslist ad for
Yeah. I
them.
wish we could stop making me look at it right fucking now is what I want.
Can you use it as a do-rag too?
Can we just change
You
this?
know what I'm saying?
New
Like, you
subject.
could whip it out.
Seriously?
Let's ride.
This is burning in my
we're
brain
done.
and it's fucking me up.
All right,
Cut it out.
maybe you hungry.
Here
right?
we go.
Oh, shit.
An Indiana woman is suspected of serving her lover's remains to unsuspecting neighbors at barbecue.
She Cartman that motherfucker. She Cartman that motherfucker. Remember Cartman?
Peep this story.
Tender ass sausage, huh?
Peep this story, right? Her and her husband led the lover into the house, okay, and shot him and chopped him up and fed him. But after that, she got mad and killed her husband because he killed her lover. Shot him up with heroin and then...
So wait, the husband and wife killed her lover first.
Because they made a pact to anybody who tried to get in the way of their relationship would die.
But then she killed the husband
because he killed her lover. Wow. She was like 9 people. Actually, I just saw this and it's going to be on investigation serving the North.
Did they have a restaurant or something, or are they just serving it?
Barbecue neighbors. Like, oh, come
neighbors.
On. I'm
neighbors.
like, so what did they do with a dick? Like, oh, we got
No, you just chop that shit up. No, I'm a cook, man. Meat's meat. Once
okay,
you
so what do you disguise a dick as? Oxtails?
You cut it up. It's fucking sausage.
Turkey neck.
Sausage.
But that cartilage in the middle. How do you explain
Strip it out.
Fuck.
Strip it out. The same way you would cut up cartilage from a chicken.
You can't flush a dick down a toilet. You're gonna have to serve it all.
You can actually acid. Do you know nothing about getting rid of
just in case anybody's curious, how to dispose of dick.
Not only can I help you get rid of a body, but I know how to get rid of a body.
I bet everybody else because that's something you want to talk about.
Everybody got quiet on that shit right there.
Yeah, this is a real Hot 60 episode, but we really going there with these.
Well, I just was hoping that she ran a restaurant because then I wanted to see the Yelp reviews.
Like it's a secret in the sauce. Yeah.
This is the best stuff I've ever ate, and it's like
the secret's in the sauce.
Right. Those sausages.
Soylent Green is not
succulent.
I think there might have been a toenail in my soup, but other than that,
just one. You're good.
What was that movie where they fed the
Adam's apple pie was delicious.
Fuck. You said what movie now?
There was a movie where they killed a dude and they fed him in a
fried
barbecue.
green tomatoes.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's what
The secrets in the sauce.
the
shit.
Sawyers
That's-
did in Texas Chainsaw. That's what they did. They cut people up and made them into meat.
It's so disgusting.
I
I'd
mean,
be
I'm
so mad
sure a
if somebody
human can
fed
make
me
a
human.
good Brunswick stew. You know
So,
what I mean?
You know what? If you're hungry, you're gonna eat. You know, people get, you know, like the people question people surviving on the mountains in South America if they would, you know, if you would have to, would you eat another human
That's what
being?
I was just about to ask.
And
the
I'm
hot
like,
60
you
question.
bet your ass. You're
Yeah.
You
all
would?
fucking
That
food.
thigh, that
So it's
ass,
hot
that
Bet
boiled.
your
butt.
ass. I'm
That's
saying
what I want
hot.
to know. All four of us
I'm-
stranded somewhere. Who are you eating first out of all four of us?
If you're all dead at the same time, it wouldn't
No,
matter.
alive.
No, somebody's got to be dead.
Who
I'm
you
not
killing?
committing murder.
Well, if it's me, y'all will get really baked. So it's probably
He's an edible.
Yeah, I'll be an edible.
Right.
Set his ass on fire.
Right. You want to eat me last because I'm fucking crazy. You don't know what you're going to catch. You know? You don't know.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, fuck right, man. You know,
Would
we
you
learned
really-
this when I was in the
Huh?
Army.
Would you
You know,
eat
they
it?
teach us about surviving
Would
and
I
shit.
eat what?
Would you eat a human if you had to?
Oh, I've done that. Oh, like
Exactly. Yeah, we've already done
I've done that for free. You know?
I'm talking about.
a dead human. Oh, okay.
You
We
talking
all know
about?
that.
She was dead.
I'm
talking
she,
about
she felt
if you
dead
was
when I started.
stranded, if we was all
Nah.
stranded, right? Who would you eat first out of all three of us?
I'm gonna find something on the earth to eat. I promise you, I'll find
Yeah.
something.
I
It's
said
gotta
the
be
same
promise you.
thing.
You gonna see me chewing on a root stick? Something.
Grubs.
Yeah.
I will eat them bugs first,
Fuck.
man.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Them big, juicy fucking Bear Grylls fucking
But
grubs.
Cat, I'd eat you first. You be done.
Yup.
Donezo.
You could trap a squirrel
I know. I'd be like bacon.
or a rabbit.
Cat.
I'd be
you know,
like bacon.
Well,
All this fat all around me. It'd be like filet mignon.
Cat gone.
That's
Yup.
because you wouldn't want to be on no
Because
gay
you can
shit.
get double
Hey,
use out.
right, exactly. At the end of the day, exactly. At the
It's
end of the day, I'm like, I'm about to get on the breast, brother.
Sam, are you cooking yet?
Right.
Sam, what are we having today?
You could live off
we
my
got
breast
thighs,
for 2 weeks.
breasts.
Yeah, you could
Hey,
live off
man.
my thighs for like you
You don't
can
want
make
none of this-
jerky.
Hard
The
ass.
soul survivor is like all
Cutlets.
fat and happy and everything. They're like,
Right.
how did you sustain life? I ate my friends, but
Yeah.
I got high. We had filet mignon.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm crazy.
So,
Y'all
Man.
plotting on me. I need to sit.
so I'm in the room. Yeah, I know. You know we plotting. But speaking of plotting, let's talk about this pop shit right now. Let's talk about this Meghan Markle and the royal wedding and all that. Can we?
I didn't
Let's
watch
talk
it though.
real quick. Even if you don't like it, hate it or love it, let's
No,
talk.
I didn't
I mean,
watch
like-
the Gucci wedding. Why am I gonna watch the royal?
I'm happy people are fucking happy.
I don't want to see other people, rich people happy.
No. It's not only that, but I mean,
Fuck
let me
that.
break it down for the white guy's
Break it down.
the white guy's significance of a fucking colonizers. The white colonizers,
Oh,
British
shit.
motherfuckers. I mean, there was a fucking prince some fucking 50 years ago who had to give up his right to the monarchy to just marry a divorcee. You know, that dude marrying Meghan Markle 50 years ago would have gotten her killed. You know what I'm saying? Being biracial, being divorced, there was no fucking way this would have happened back then. So it's kind of cool that it happened.
Dope.
But big fucking deal as well. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Nobody died.
She
I'm
was
not
a high
watching
class.
it.
She's a high class mixed girl from the West Coast. She'd been high class since she was a little kid, and good for her. She had that whole
But you know what?
Nickelodeon thing when she was a little kid, changing that thing. She was
She
positive
could
in
have at
action.
least dabbed on everybody. Don't you think she could have did that?
You know,
She could
I
at
like
least
that. I like
dabbed.
that preacher from. I like that preacher from Chicago though.
Yeah.
That dude hit it with love, like the
No.
love.
the part that
Love.
I liked was just
Love.
the fact that he
Love,
started
love.
off in that, super white British thing. First thing he come out and say, according to Dr. Martin Luther King. I was like, oh shit. As soon as he came out, he let it be known, look, you got to deal with some niggas today. Like, y'all got some black blood in here now. You gonna hear about Dr. Martin Luther
Can you
King.
imagine him
first
too
fucking
standing
speech.
there amongst? I mean,
Yeah.
standing there looking out over that crowd of nothing but the whitest white faces in like
No, I thought
that
it was
part
cool
of the
because,
world.
we gotta come together.
So they gonna have a baby that look like me. Whoop-de fucking do.
You're too funny, Cat. You're
Well,
too funny.
they're all, the whole world's gonna be brown in 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, once we get these religious motherfuckers out
Brown
of the way
and
and get all these big
speaking
people.
Spanish.
Yep, brown and speaking Spanish and
Straight
Chinese.
up,
So
yeah.
brown
Chinese
in
too.
a-
You
Yeah,
better
they
learn
might
some.
be-
You better learn some Chinese,
Right.
motherfucker.
We be
Fuck.
fucking
You
shit
better
up. You know
learn
there's a
some
church of
Chinese.
Beyonce right now? You talking
There's
about
a
the
church of
I
Beyonce.
heard that. Is that shit real?
Oh, sure.
Man.
I don't even think Beyonce wants it, but yeah.
Hell nah, that's scary.
I'm an ordained minister.
Me too.
In the Church of Dudism.
Me too.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've actually married people.
I have not as yet gotten
nice.
married.
What
anybody.
is dudism like, dude?
The Big Lebowski.
No, it's the Big Lebowski.
Yes, it
it's
is,
the
dude.
laziest religion in the world.
Yes.
Oh.
All you gotta do is be cool.
Yeah, just take it easy, man. Just chill out.
Can you smoke weed?
Of
Oh,
course.
we
What?
do. Yes,
Do
we.
you know who
have
that
you not
is?
ever not
You
seen
the Big Lebowski?
Damn.
Yeah, there's a Jedi religion.
I
It's gonna change your life.
You know, so you can make a Beyonce
The Church
religion.
of the 501st.
There's a Scientology religion. You know, I mean, all bets are
Right,
off.
that
so,
bullshit.
You know,
You
No,
got
no,
mini
again.
chlorines all over your face right
no.
now.
How about the fucking my favorite? My
in
favorite,
your mustache.
My favorite is that one from the what's the one the one with the guy John Smith went out to Midwest, found the new pages.
The
of
Mormons.
Jesus. The Mormons. He
Yeah.
comes back with the new pages and he says, "Look, I found these new pages from Jesus."
And I'm
the
about to have 20
no,
bitches.
listen. And the people said, "Hey, let us read them." And he said, "No, you can't read it. Only I can read it." He said, "You want to know what it says?" And they said, "Yeah, what it says." And he says, "I get more wives." That's all.
and you got to wear this magical
And you
underwear.
get this magic
Me and Sam
underwear.
are all the same.
Yeah.
You know, motherfuck you, goddamn.
Now let's get nasty real quick. You know how we do on Hot Six. What is up with that? The magical underwear shit. Because can you imagine how gushy and how fucked up it has to
What
be
are
if you're just
magical
putting your
underwear?
peephole through the little thing? You know they wear a onesie. They wear a onesie and put the dick out.
those-
Do they have commercials for them in Utah? Like you know,
Who are wearing onesies with the dick out?
Right.
Where?
You never seen?
Men are wearing dicks out? Where?
Look at you. Look.
Just tell
focus,
me.
cat eyes.
Was it John Smith? John Smith brand.
Give me the first letter
Magical
at least. Give me
underwear.
the first initial.
Yeah.
Where?
Mormons.
Mormons in Utah.
Yeah.
The magical underwear.
Magical underwear to have sex. You didn't know that?
Oh, I thought you meant like they just wore it all the time.
Maybe. I don't know.
Right. No, it is under the garments.
But they
Whatever
have
the fuck.
pants on. I
Yeah.
always thought you meant it
Yeah.
was like some shit they just walked around like swinging. I was like,
But you know what's
Yeah,
weird
I'm
is
going to
like
Utah.
over there, obviously that's just accepted in that like in Utah and right now, and they get these kind of crazy sects of Mormon, you know, where it turns into like the sister wives type thing. But you know, my thing is this, you know, every religion is pretty fucked up
Yeah.
and crazy, but I don't understand why that's illegal over there. It's like if we have freedom of religion and that's part of your religion, you know. If I don't want 8 wives, I mean, I'm glad to be rid of my last one. So, you know, I won't want 7 more to have to deal with.
More power to you, buddy.
But you know what I'm saying is,
let's
I
say all
don't.
fucking each other.
Right, you know, I don't understand. I mean, I'm not going to do
But
it.
what
But
is
Yeah,
this
I don't
magical
understand. Look,
underwear?
if this is
Wait.
what they want to do, this is your right to do it. Who says you can? You know, you want to marry each other, go nuts. But I don't think that we can expect
Speaking of
people.
nuts, what is this magical underwear?
Okay, I think we want to. You keep dancing around it. Why don't you look
We'll
it
let
up?
her know. No, I'll let her know real quick. Okay, so you know how guys wear white beaters? Imagine a white beater that just fits your whole fucking body. Right? From head to toe.
it's a romper.
And then a fucking romper. And then your dick's able to just pop out of that middle, that little,
Like a jacket of do 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 do.
pretty much. So, yeah, that's it. That's what they actually wear. I know it's your first time hearing this. huh?
And you know what's crazy about this is
Don't they
and they're
stink?
getting like all these wives. It's like y'all really getting all hot on this. It's like you know, homeboy
Yeah, like-
wearing his
Oh, did you see
magical
that
romper.
onesie?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
And then these people. I mean, it's just too far to go into because it also involves a lot of this sex slavery issue because these women are being fucking married to these guys when they're like 12 years old.
Yep.
You know, I mean, this is some sick shit going on.
Yeah.
These people are like locked.
12?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know
This is,
what?
this is getting dark.
do they have to wait
How did we
till
get?
they
How
get-
did we go from
This is-
the Church of Beyonce to this down this road?
Yeah.
Hey,
Because
But I
of the
tell
Church
you-
of Beyonce.
You know
You
what?
know how you know how Krunkle Sam feels about any church. I say we fucking burn them all down and build schools. Yeah,
Damn.
fuck that shit. Fuck
So people
that
just
shit.
shoot 'em
Fuck
up?
you and your fucking religion, okay?
oh my gosh.
No, Krunkle Sam don't buy that shit. I like science. I'm
He
all
wants to
about
burn
the
down
science.
churches. So there's people that are
We're gonna get
actually
hate
alive in church.
Hot 60 is going to
Hey, you
get
know what I
hate
love
mail.
about churches? How when there's a big ass flood in Louisiana, you don't see nobody dying in no fucking churches. Okay, they all ran. You're supposed to be there because Lord will protect you. But no, what he meant is the Lord will protect you till he sends a fucking hurricane
Hey,
to kill your ass.
Beyonce will protect all that shit.
Beyonce's ass will protect anybody from
That's
rain.
all I got to say.
Yeah, I
She
can
gonna
hide
twerk,
underneath there.
period.
You know?
Will there be side religions off the Beyonce, like the Blue Ivy sect?
Oh,
you know?
man.
Probably.
I would
Well,
definitely
Blue
be in the
Ivy's
Blue
probably
Ivy.
like
Yeah.
the
Is
Messiah kind of thing.
I
Yeah.
rock with Blue Ivy. I like her manner.
Jay-Z
Matter of
is
fact,
probably like
we're
the
both
Holy Spirit.
Capricorns.
Right.
That's why I understand her. She,
Oh man, I just picked up a story here of a 14-year-old kid pretending he was a cop while robbing a blind man.
A 14-year-old kid.
True.
Yeah,
I bet he
right
sounded
here.
like. I bet he sounded like Morty. You know.
Hey, man.
He said Morty.
Hey, man.
That's hilarious.
Oh, my
The
God.
These are
suspect
wild,
saying
sir.
he was a cop led the victim into the subway, presumably to help him through the turnstile, according to the police. That's when he went through the bag and took his wallet.
Oh, you can read now. Wow. Everybody see that? Whoa.
Whoa. Sam and Cat are going at it today.
She's just a fucking cocksucking whore. It's okay. I'll be
No, you got
no.
the first part right,
She's the
motherfucker.
cocksucking whore.
Hot 60,
I
man.
love
He's
her.
just
You know, she
jealous.
loves me. It's
Because
all
he's
right.
had more
So-
cock in his mouth than me. But
Oh,
anyway,
man. Oh, man.
we might
Oh,
need to get
man.
into this interview because I really do fuck
I
with
will
Uncle
punch you
Sam.
in your fucking
Yeah.
mouth. You say
Let's-
that shit again.
Let's do.
I'm straight up. There will be
let's do the
violence in this
interview.
motherfucker. You'd say anything about me having cocks in my mouth one more time. Are we good?
Oh,
Are we
funny.
good for
If
today?
you punch me in my mouth, you'll have 8 cocks in your mouth.
See,
I got the gay mafia dinger.
Yeah, Pink Mafia.
Okay?
the Pink Mafia.
Yeah.
Pink Mafia.
They will fist your ass.
Oh, my God. But let's get into this. Damn, it's
Don't
raw
threaten, me
today.
with a, don't threaten me with a good
Let's-
time. Hold on. Hold on now.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyways, what's up, Rick?
Right.
Wow,
Let's
I
get
like to
with
follow
you.
that segue.
Right. Rick.
Fisting, and here's Rick.
Hey, man. I
What's
tell you
your view
what.
on fisting?
Right.
Well, he's so cool and me and Sam, we love each other.
Yes.
Right. It's all love here. But Rick, I ain't gonna lie, it's my first time meeting you, man. But I know you're fucking funny, man. Everything you,
Yeah, he on point.
Well,
you're a
thanks.
fool. You're a real life fool. I can tell that. I can
It's
tell
finally
that.
paying off. You know.
Damn, man. So yeah, let me get my 2020 on with you real quick.
All
man.
right.
I love doing this. So, when did you decide? Fuck everything. I'm getting into comedy. When did you jump out the window?
It was really a happy accident. There was no grand design of it. I'd worked at a music store with a buddy of mine that we'd grown up together. We'd known each other since middle school.
Okay.
And he left and went to work over at the Strand. And then he kept sending me. He started the open mic night at the Lumiere in the Strand, and he kept sending me invites all the time. Like, you got to come down here and check this out. And I was doing a podcast at the time called Pod Vomit, and he kept saying,
I like that name.
y'all got really funny stories and everything. You should come on, and and I was like, yeah, but I'm just trying to make my podcast partner Justin laugh. I never really thought about it in terms of,
Yeah.
an audience of people that I can see. And so I told him, I said, I tell you what, at the first of the year, I'll take some time off. I'll be done with Christmas and everything, and I promise you I will come down there. So just how things happen, they closed my store down and let everybody go on January 1st of 2016.
Oh,
So I
happy
called
fucking
David up
New
and asked him
Year.
if there, it was,
Yeah, rocking.
And I asked him, I said, what's popping at the Strand? And he was like, I'll see if I can get you an interview. And he called me back, got me an interview, and he kept telling me to come down to the open mic night. And I would go down there each week, not getting paid, just watching, just, checking it out, getting just interested. Because I've always, loved comedy and stuff like that, but I never thought about actually doing like stand-up,
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought I was just going to be podcasting, and that was it. I felt like that was it, and that was, we had done Comic-Cons.
Great podcast just so far. Great.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did Comic-Cons, and we had a lot of people on our shows and stuff, and we did pretty well, and it was a lot of fun, but I never really thought about taking it beyond that. And so one night, I went up, and I had wrote some material, and it did pretty well, and on the way home, I was like, that's pretty cool. I have nobody to call to tell them that this just went off pretty successfully.
Right.
And so that Friday of that week, David had this big show called the Comedy Big Show at the Strand, and he had 12 people on it. And I went with my girlfriend, my podcast partner, his wife, and some other friends joined us. And I went backstage to see everybody, and then when I come back out to sit down about the third comic in, David texts me and he's like, I need you to come backstage. There's a comedy emergency. And I was like, what could that possibly entail?
Over. Over.
So I said, let me go backstage real quick. I go backstage, and David said, well, Clint Greer is running late. We need somebody to take his spot. Why don't, I said, what, do you want me to help you pick someone? He goes, no, I want you to do it. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I did it the other night in front of 15 people. There's 150 people out here, and you expect me to just go out. So
To the fire.
he's like, yeah, I'm really not going to take no for an answer. And I was like, all right, well, look, this is either going to go one of two ways, really well or really bad. So I'll know in a minute, you know. So Dorelio Ledger, he, you know, come outside and he was telling me, he's like,
Goofy.
man, yeah, you know, him and Tobias Dean and Black Rob and Clint and David are all very, you know, key of getting me on stage. Because I was thinking when I first met them, I'd write them jokes, you know, and I was telling them these jokes, and I was like, you know, I thought this would be better for you. And they're like, why don't you tell that? That's great. So as Hilda was coming off the stage, she's like, what are you doing back here? And I said, apparently I'm going up next. And she's like, you're going to kill it. And I'm thinking, you people have a lot of hope in me. You know, I don't know.
Who do you think you're doing?
Y'all have been doing this for a while, and all of a sudden, you know, you're like, I think you'll be really good. And I'm like, all right. So I went out. I did 8 minutes just off the top of my head. Just I tried to remember some of the things that I was talking about, you know, that Wednesday. And then I just had a few things that I kind of built it in my head, like I'll start with this, and I'll do this, and I'll end with this. And when I got off stage, Derek Muhammad come up to me, and he goes, man, you were fucking hilarious. He goes, how long you been doing comedy? I was like, oh, this is the second time. And he just busted out laughing, and he goes, no, seriously, how long you been doing comedy? And I was like, no, dude, this is the second time I've ever done this ever in my life. And he goes, you need to keep doing this shit. So
that's awesome, man.
And then I just kept, you know, running the open mic there. I used to have another room over in Ackworth for a while at a place called Stoner Burgers every Saturday night. So
that sounds like I want to go there.
Oh,
they're no longer there no more.
Stoner Burger.
Yeah, it was called Stoner Burger.
How do we not know about Stoner Burger?
Right. I feel like
it was awesome.
On a field trip there.
It was all. You walk in, there was a big painting of Wiz Khalifa behind the counter. There was like the Beatles, and their bar was like the Yellow Submarine, and it was
what?
How much is Uber to Ackworth?
It was in Ackworth.
Okay.
It closed about 2 years ago, and I just approached the owner one day. I was in there eating, and I just pitched a comedy thing to him, and I said, you know, my stage name's Nickelback Rick, and it was billed as Stoner Burger presents Nickelback Rick's open mic comedy every Saturday night, and we did it for like 4 months, and I was still doing the Strand, and then about a year ago, David left. And now I'm just running the open mic myself, and you know, just still out grinding.
Yeah, I love your room. I had so much fun at your room when I went.
Yeah, a lot of people's like, this is one of the best rooms, you know, in the OTP, you know, and I'm like, well,
the audience is really great, and the vibe. All the comedians are supportive.
Yeah, and it's always packed. I mean, and that's one thing I'm always thankful for. I've been doing this for almost 3 years. We actually hit our 3-year mark in August. And it's only really gone up. I mean, it's never kind of plateaued. It's never kind of had like a down cycle.
There's no need for it to go.
So I kind of keep it, you know, change it up all the time. And like right now, I'm doing featured comics. I still have my featured guest and a guest host each week, because my thing is if people come out, I don't want it to be very, you know, just complacent, where it's like, it's the same group of people always here, same bunch of jokes. It's always different, you know, residents. It's always different.
How do you get what is it? I always see that like resident comic on your fighter. How does someone become a resident comic?
Well, what I do is I kind of pay attention to who hits the room a lot. And basically it's like a speed pass. You know, if you come in, you don't have to, you know, put your name on the list. Because it's 4, you know, comics, so the room runs for 4 hours, so that's an extra comic per hour if they show up.
Right, and the list fills up quick.
Yes, it really does. We open the doors at 7, and literally by about 7:15, I've got 25 people on that list each week. You know, I've got people texting me, and I'm like, it's not, you know, text up, go up. You got to be here, you know. But it's a great problem to have too, you know. And then
we should definitely make a road trip up there.
That's how I got into comedy. And you know, when you ask me anything, I talk forever. So it's great.
We're here for your interviews.
Right.
It's your time.
That's cool. I meant to ask you. I had another important question for you.
Well, you got it.
No, go ahead, Kat.
Well, if you know, if you were like trying to.
No, you fucked my whole train of thought.
No, the mushrooms did that.
Right, exactly. They're like, I had it, but yeah, man. I am just Nickelback Rick. Now, tell me how you got Nickelback Rick. Where did that name come from? Who gave you that?
My friends did, because back like in my 20s and 30s, the lead guitarist of a band out of Texas called Pantera. Dimebag Daryl. All my friends, used to say, you look a lot like Dime, and I even grew my goatee out like him and dyed it red. And so they would always just call me Nickelbag instead of Dimebag.
Yeah, okay.
And then so when MySpace and stuff come out, that was just my name I used on MySpace.
Right.
And then from that point on, it just went to every social media. All my friends, called me that. So I've had that nickname for like almost 15 years.
That's awesome. So it's not because you only buy Nickelback.
No, it's really for Dimebag from Pantera, really.
Okay. That's what's up. When you go on stage, and get on my Oprah shit. When you go on stage, do you need weed, or can you get on there with sober? What do you need to get yourself on that?
Well, I'm what I call a functional pothead. I'm literally rolling a blunt in the morning when I'm pouring my coffee. Right. So it's not one of those things where a lot of people's like, I can't be high when I be on stage. I can be high on stage, off stage. I mean,
just breathing.
Yeah, I mean.
But do you have to be high?
I don't have to. No.
You can go on stage. If you haven't smoked that day, you can still go on stage and kill it.
If I haven't smoked that day, I am probably sick, or something's really, really wrong. But,
you're on oxygen.
The moon is crashed into the fucking
going on.
planet.
But I mean, it's not a requirement, but I would say probably 97% of the time I've smoked before I go on stage. Usually.
Yeah. Do you have something that you always are like, okay, I need this before I go on stage?
No, not really. I mean, my thing I like to look at is the crowd to kind of see who I'm working with, because, I've done rooms like Punchline where I had this joke, and it was it only lasted about 3 weeks because I knew that it was a news-related sort of joke, but I wasn't going to carry it on. And a friend of mine, H.T. Rosen, he was like, don't tell that joke here, dude, man. He's like, it's not going to fly. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to open with it. And the joke was, I go out on stage, and I said, Vegas, what are the odds? And I was like, damn, I hate Jason Aldean too, but damn.
Damn.
Yes.
And it killed, and I knew right then and there, I had that crowd, so it was I kind of read them, and I thought, yeah, they'll bite to this, and I've got a few more that are even, really fucked up. This one guy comes up to me, and he's like, I'm texting my friends these jokes. These are so fucked up. I'm like, there's this dude on stage at the Punchline telling he's like this pothead, but this stuff is really dark.
Of course, we potheads.
Right.
Dark as hell. We got deep thinking.
But then the following night, I was up in like Cumming, Georgia, at this little place, and I did the same thing, and it was crickets, man. I mean, it was just like they were like,
what?
oh.
Do you ever because you're a comedian, you know what I'm saying, white comedian. You ever go see a black ass crowd and be like, oh, let me fucking change my jokes up? Or you see like a super white crowd and you're like, oh fuck, I was hitting them with the black jokes.
Well,
let me.
How I kind of look at that is I look at comedy crowds and even comics. It's just like music. There's a lot of different genres, and so for me to change up my I'm sure I'm still working.
It's just fucking hot, man. It's hot.
Hot 60, man.
Okay, I guess it's me then, man.
It's
Fuck.
the mushroom.
Go ahead, boss. Nickelback Rick.
I'm chilling.
Woo! But I look at it kind of like music. I mean, and with comics, there's all kind of different comics. You've got people from like Jeff Dunham to Carrot Top. So, I mean, Carrot Top or Jeff Dunham wouldn't do great, at the Apollo. But, they're just not,
How?
They
You
wouldn't
can't
last
say
a
that.
minute.
But, I mean, so I already kind of know that there's certain crowds for certain comics. And I don't know if my stuff would... I mean, I think it would. I mean, like I say, some of it's kind of dark, and it's usually all weed related. It's like but I never change my shit up really. I just feel like this is just me, So it's like
No, you got a fan with me, man. I can already tell.
Thanks, man.
I like how you can hit everybody up all night.
Yeah, you have
I could tell. No, I could tell. He's
well, I mean, I love like telling a joke in front of especially like a mixed crowd to see. Because some people, it's funny too, because like I was doing Keith's Room back last summer. It was at Corner Pocket, and it was a real mixed crowd and everything. And I told this joke that I do on stage about that I met my girlfriend at an abortion clinic.
You fucked up, man. Go ahead.
Because that's where you meet all the loose women.
Oh.
They want to fuck, so maybe I got a shot.
Everybody wants to fuck, right?
And,
I mean, who doesn't want to fuck?
Oh my God.
So like, it was just funny to watch some of these people just fall the fuck out on that, But then there was some people like, I'm gonna go to hell if I laugh at this, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be fine. Motley Crue will be there. It's gonna be a lot of big time, you know. It's gonna be fun.
You don't have to answer this now, but I want you to think about it. But what would you think about like the Hot Us podcast setting up live at the Strand one Wednesday?
Well, I mean,
not to do the. You can keep your show up, go up and stuff.
Oh yeah,
but you
yeah.
can just kind
Now,
of be in the.
you know, possibly. I mean, we could talk about it.
Yeah, I just want you to think about it. We started talking about.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it by any means. I would just have to kind of work out the logistics of.
Yeah.
Ideally, what I'd like to probably see is something like that if we could set it up. Now, would you want to record people's sets as they were doing comedy and doing
only if they were okay with it? Because you know some people aren't.
Right. You know, because I mean, sometimes we get people in there. It's just their first time. They've kind of got up the courage to say.
Well, what about your second time was the best?
Well, I mean, look, I still wake up every day going, I can't believe this is what I do. This is, this is
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, awesome. I'm never ungrateful towards it. I mean,
I found it.
Okay, go for it.
It came back. The question came back. Check it out. So what were you doing, Nickelback Rick, before you were a comedian? What was your profession?
I worked in music for like 10 years. I ran a music store over in Kennesaw. Nice. And, I like I said, I was doing that and podcasting, on Pod Vomit and everything. I loved that job too. It wasn't a bad job. I had run the store. I was the purchasing manager. I did everything, and I loved everybody I worked with. I liked the teachers that, was there and their parents that would bring their kids in and the kids. It was a really, really cool job. No stress at all, know. But I say, once I left there and started doing this, it's like going from Six Flags to Disneyland. It was like that was a lot of fun, but this is a whole lot more fun.
Right. Gotcha.
He said from Six Flags to Disneyland.
Awesome,
Yeah, because it's definitely your calling. It's very obvious.
Yeah, well, it's funny because a guy just asked me, a friend of mine, he was on our show one time. He sent me an email the other day. He's like, I'm thinking about getting into comedy. Can you give me some pointers on what I should do? And I'm like, be funny.
Grow some balls.
That's the first thing.
Yeah, be funny.
And be confident. Even if you're, even if you want to show that you're an unconfident person on stage, work with it or something.
Exactly.
Now, Nickelback Rick, I gotta say your name fully because I love your name, Nickelback Rick. Nickelback Rick. But is there ever a time where you just meet comedians where they fucking suck so much where you really like, hey man, you really need another career?
No.
Like I don't want to crush your dream, but like you're not fucking fun.
I've never said anything like that. I mean, I'm always trying to be as supportive as I can because I do feel like this. I mean, and not that I'm no guru of comedy, but I just feel like it obviously takes, a lot of balls to get up there and do that. Mm-hmm. And I think to tell somebody that, to crush them out, if they've really kind of, built this up in their head to do it, they'll either find out through themselves that they're no good, or they'll continue to just be a terrible comedian, and get really nowhere. But I would never do that. I just feel like it's like, being in music for so long, it's like somebody working really hard to try to be a musician and not being up to the par of what they want. But I would never want to destroy that. I mean, that's their passion. That's what they think about every day. I don't want to be, somebody just kick them when they're down.
So
I would much rather
not say anything, or you say a good.
Well, unless they ask me something.
I'm from Boston. You suck. Well, stop what you're doing right fucking now. Get a job. Sell your fucking guitar. Sell your fucking guitar.
Well, like I said, I've always just kind of had that sort. I mean, if they ask me to be if they've asked me to say, be honest. Yeah, there'll be times where I'll be like, well, look, this is what I would do, but if you're asking me that way, but I still try not to be. Too critical and harsh. I mean, I'll be honest, but I'm not gonna.
I grew up in Boston where everybody was in a fucking band. Everybody was in a band, and I worked for some of the biggest bands during the time. And the worst thing,
Boston.
Yeah, and I just I didn't work for Boston, but I did work for Aerosmith.
Oh, I love them.
But no, it's like people would say, "Hey man, you want to hear my music? I want you to listen to my music. I want you to hear this song." And I'm like, "No, you don't want me to hear your song. You want me to like your song."
When I worked,
you know what I'm saying? You don't want to hear what I'm gonna have to say.
I used to work in a recording studio, where we recorded our show, but I also worked, with the guy that owned the place. And I had this guy. He's actually a friend of mine now. I had known him since high school, but I just kind of, when we worked together, we became better friends. But he came down to my music store one time, and his daughter took lessons there. So we would talk and stuff. And he had this idea for this kind of band that he wanted to put together, and he brought me this DVD or this CD to listen to, and he wanted me to give my honest opinion of it.
No, he didn't.
So I was like, oh man. You know?
Honestly, like I honestly fuck with you, or
right.
honestly.
So I took it to the studio, and me and my producer listened to it. And about the third song in, he looked at me and goes, "How much more we got to listen to this, man?" And he goes, I was like, I gotta tell him what I think of it. He goes, "How friendly are you with him?" You know? And so when he asked, I told him, I was like, "Look, man, I'm gonna tell you something. I hope this is just like a hobby thing. That this is, that's all you want to get out of it. Because if you're trying to get signed, or if you're trying to give up, everything to do this, you really need to. I hope you got a backup, because there's going to be a lot of work that needs to happen here. But he was cool with it. I mean, he wasn't like, well, fuck you, because that's the thing. If you tell somebody that they suck and then they're expected to be like, well, fuck you, it's like, well, you said whatever I thought,
That's why people stopped asking.
The reason why I asked him this question for real, y'all, is okay. I was at Tavern on the Main, and I know I walked in so like quiet and shy and like, but then when I got on stage, he walked up to me, and you probably don't even remember this.
Oh, I probably do.
And after my set, he walked up to me and he said, "I didn't expect you to be like that on stage. Your energy is totally different since you went." And he said, "It was a really good set. You should come to my room." And I'm like, I hope he just wasn't saying that to be nice.
Oh, no.
Because it made me feel really nervous. I just wanted to.
Well, I'm
like, don't put him on the spot again.
Well, it is funny too, because
I want to know the truth. We honest as hot 60. I can take it.
Fuck yes.
No, she can't.
Well,
No, she can't.
and that's one thing that's kind of, I always, think it's kind of strange too, is when people will come up to me and they're like, oh, what do you think of my set and stuff? And it's like, I don't, I'll tell you, and that's one thing I like about going to hidden clubs, because when I find people that I really enjoy, I want to bring them to my room, and I want to make them a feature or whatever, because that's one thing I really strive to do at the Strand is this, out of all the comedy clubs, and most of them in OTP is a lot of bars and stuff like that. Now, I mean, I'm just lucky that I have the Strand that lets me do this. I'm very thankful for that.
It's such a dope room too.
But what I try to do is reach out farther than just Marietta. I don't want to just be localized. I try to go out and get in-town comics to come out. People like Joe Smith will come out, and Yoshi and people like that, who's done at Relapse a lot. So I'm always trying to, stretch out, as far as Lawrenceville, as far as the South Side, as far as, to get people to come through, because I feel like it opens the floodgates with more people being turned on to another comic that they may have never seen or heard of,
Yeah.
It's a great networking tool, and it also gives other people a lot of opportunity to be seen,
You're dope. Your room is dope.
You know what?
And you said you have a podcast too, right?
Yeah, me and my buddy Justin Beals, we've been doing it since I guess 2010. It's called Pod Vomit.
Pod Vomit, y'all check that one out.
Yeah, we're on SoundCloud.
I think Nickelbag Rick is lying to us today.
About what?
I think you just give me those ex-gangster vibes. I could tell
ex-gangster.
You might have
Hang
moved
out
like
with some
500 bales.
Let's go into the hot seat.
Let's get him in the hot seat. It's hot seat time. It's hot as a motherfucker in here today. I know that.
Start out, Berlin.
Woo!
The hot seat. You can answer the question honestly, or you don't have to.
No. You know what? Because we learning all about Nickelback Rick. So let's just start simple stuff.
All right.
Go from there. When did you first smoke weed, Nickelback Rick?
When I was about 13 years old.
13. Where were you at, man? Tell me about the little situation. It's always a funny story.
My cousin, she was about 4 years older than me, and she had a bunch of hot friends that she was hanging out at the pool, and they were smoking weed, and I was like, I want to meet these chicks, and I want to smoke this weed. So
that's a good start.
Took your ass on over there, huh?
So that's where it started.
Okay,
and I was like,
my question is, did you have sex with any of those women at any time in the future?
Maybe not my cousin's friends. I don't think I ever had sex with them, but yeah, I did have a few, like when I was in middle school and stuff, I wound up somehow convincing older high school girls to sleep with me. And at the time, I was like, this is kind of normal. And a friend of mine was like, how are you doing this?
Players gotta
maybe
play.
I should be a stand-up comic and tell some more bullshit.
Right.
I don't know.
Now, see, Nickelbag Rick, with that being said, did you have like a sack of weed at that time with you? Was that part of the lure to luring the older chicks, or was it just off your game alone?
I think I don't think it was just weed solely.
Not just weed, but like it was like there was a 13-year-old kid who's like cool as
well,
shit.
because I was into music. I was into music, so if they were into
Okay.
stuff like Aerosmith or Zeppelin or Kiss or something, I was like, I read about these bands. I listen to all these bands, and I could be talking about this song, and they'd be like, "Wow, that's really cool that you know the whole Led Zeppelin presence."
It's his
album.
eyes.
Nice.
My eyes.
His eyes are like, I can't stop looking. I'm like, let me get it. So I bet you started.
They're not red.
Who are you?
You got those Prince eyes when Jamie Foxx was talking about that. You looked him in the eyes, didn't you?
I can see all the emotions in his eyes.
Next thing you know, you fucking. You looked him in the
But
eyes.
sorry, I'm taking. But I got a question.
Fucking hot in here.
Would you rather be cheated on if you're a girl? Would you rather be cheated on if she was with another man, another woman, or a tranny?
Whoa.
Which would you prefer?
Another woman.
Another woman.
Dark.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, I like chicks. I dig that.
Right.
We're on the same page. Can she come over?
Look, I just want to watch. Just watch you get.
What about you?
See, my
Blasted.
problem with that right there, although I feel you on liking chicks and the more the merrier, is that nowadays you bring another chick into your family situation, you find your woman leaving with that chick. These modern day lesbians be popping up and like, you got to be careful who you invite into your house.
you either chalk it up to, hey, I banged that chick, And now she's fucking other chicks. And now I'm fucking other chicks. So,
All right, hold on. Let me tell you something about my opinion about lesbians, okay? Lesbians treat straight guys the way straight guys treat fat chicks. Everybody's fucking, nobody's talking about it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good one. That's a good one. But you gonna have to Pink Mafia on your ass, Sam.
Well, I don't give a
This
fuck.
episode has been rough. Between the evangelicals and the Pink Mafia,
Well,
your ass
it's
is
not
gone
about
by
you
tomorrow.
ate those menopausal mushrooms.
Oh, you know what I
that
really
hot
love?
flashes
I
every
love.
5
I got a
Hey,
friend
man.
who is. I got a friend who is a fucking right wing. Well, he's not right wing Christian,
got a
but he's pretty
friend.
right wing Christian. Gay guy. He's a right wing Christian gay guy. I swear to God.
Right-wing Christian.
I
Damn,
just
that's
picture
a
like,
lot.
hey.
That's a lot put together.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right
fuck.
wing.
He loves. Oh yeah. Yep.
But you sounded like you was going to elaborate on them.
No, I don't want to talk.
No, he's reminiscing.
No.
He's not elaborating.
Oh,
He's
shit.
No, just I don't want to call him out any
need
further
some more
than that. I
hype.
just have a
Any
hard
more
time.
questions?
No, we got some questions.
Okay,
for
good.
Nickelback,
I
Rick.
like this.
When was the last time you had sex?
The last
Come
time I
on,
had sex?
Sam.
What
Fuck.
the fuck? Hot 60,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
hot 60.
Probably last week.
There you go.
Probably.
Yeah, you said you got a
Well,
girlfriend?
I mean, me and my girl have been
You got a
together for
girl?
15 years. We got,
Oh, yeah.
5 kids between us and a grandbaby. And,
Oh, yeah.
So, I still make her laugh. She still likes being with me. It's great. So,
Still works.
yeah.
She still works.
yeah, just depending on the schedule, I mean.
Fuck yeah. Sliding. Hey, I feel you on that.
So,
It's like you gotta have sex in closets and all kinds of shit when you start having kids. You gotta be creative.
well, now our kids are all out of the house now, so it's just.
Somebody just came up with a good idea. Turn on the vacuum.
Oh,
Right.
I got not really hot 60 hot questions, but like
Yeah.
since you got hella kids, you smoke weed with the kids?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome, man. You're fucking awesome.
Well, and I told my oldest
Man.
son when, he was like in middle
How
school.
old is he?
He was, I guess, probably like 30, getting to be a teenager, I'd say
Yeah.
12,
When he was gonna
13,
go smoke
14.
anyways.
Well, he already was raised up in music. I took him to concerts and stuff as a kid and everything, when we seen everybody from Kiss to Marilyn Manson and Korn and Zombie and, I just told him, I said, look, man, I'm going to approach this like Ozzy was with his kids. You can't hide what you've done before you had kids. So my thing is I would much, if, you're going to hang out with people who think they know all kind of shit, I've
Let me
done
give you
all
the real
kind of
shit.
shit. I'll
Right.
tell you the lowdown on everything, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And I was like, if you ever want to smoke weed, come to me. I've been doing it for years. I would much rather you be getting high with me than some jackass in his
That's
basement
gonna
where,
waste
Right.
it.
the parents call the cops on him or some bullshit like
Yeah.
that, or just
Or
unnecessary.
you're like watching your son trying to like get a transaction and shit. Like, look at this fucker in the Kroger parking lot looking all sketched out and shit.
So no, I mean, no, I've always been upfront with weed about my kids. and
That's
stuff.
awesome, man. No,
That's
a
how you
cool
gotta
thing.
be. I feel like.
Well, it's just
Shit, my dad was hiding that shit for years. I was
But
like,
you could
man,
smell
My
it.
mom stole weed from me. Okay, my mom got me high first when I was 11 years old. I ain't kidding with you. I had a stomach ache. She was sitting on the couch with her girlfriend. I forget who she was at the time, but she said, "Come sit down here in between the two of us." Rolled a little pin joint. She said, "Smoke this."
off you go.
My stomach felt
Right.
better. I went back to sleep and I was done. I never stood a chance. You
Yeah,
know? It was
yeah.
marijuana
That's
from
better
there on
than
out.
Pepto-Bismol. That shit'll just make you throw up.
Yeah.
Baking soda and water? Shit.
Yeah, man.
Now I'm
So,
a highly medicated veteran.
Another question: Do you smoke with the wifey? You
Oh,
and
yeah.
wifey get down together?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can't
Yeah, I
be
mean,
with
how could
nobody
you,
who don't.
you know-
I got a divorce over
That's
that
awesome.
Oh no. I mean,
Man, sometimes there's cool ladies out here who won't even smoke and let their husband do their
shit.
thing.
Yeah, but I got a divorce over that shit. My dude came home. I used to like hide that I smoked weed, and he came home one day early, and I was high. He's like, "Are you high?" I was
fucking right.
Yes,
What the fuck?
I am. He was like, "Oh, it's my way or the highway." I said, "The highway going somewhere."
You married
Wow.
somebody
So am
you
I.
had. How do you marry someone you had to hide weed from?
yeah.
Because I had a rough life, y'all. I know.
Oh yeah.
So then I met this dude who I thought was going to change my rough patch. But I still wanted to smoke, so I don't know. It lasted
I
6 months.
I don't think you did anything wrong. I don't know.
It was kind of
I
a
get
Captain Save-A-Hole, but I wasn't
Yeah,
a
so you
hoe.
met some cornball motherfucker.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
he was Muslim. He was from Senegal.
Huh?
It's one of them Muslim motherfuckers. Can't believe
I
in
was
any
like-
God
So
that.
he had
How
your-
could
he
you
had his
believe in a
foot on
God
your
that?
neck.
How could you believe in a God that didn't want you to eat bacon?
I don't
You know what I'm
believe in
saying?
gods.
Fuck that shit.
I mean, I believe I am a god within.
We're all the chosen ones.
Yeah, that's right. I choose me
Right.
every day.
Hell yeah.
every.
Man, but y'all, this is crazy. We almost done it.
Are you
y'all.
serious?
Are we almost done?
It was
Yeah.
too
Rick,
much fun
Rick, I
today.
used to I
Rick,
used to
what-
run the door and the stage at 9 Lives, and I used to do stand up there once in a while, and I used to start my crowd breaker was so there I was sucking a guy's dick, right? then I stopped and I thought to myself, wait a minute, this guy could be gay, so I got the fuck out of there, people. I'm telling you, I was out of there quick. You know,
Sam, go on your little rant. We can't leave out with the our Uncle Sam rant or your
I can't be,
Deadpool.
you know,
Your
Junkie
Deadpool
my
stories.
Deadpool rating is a 5+ stars. I mean, it was excellent. I'm wearing a shirt today because I loved it.
It's a great shirt too.
It
by
was
the
a
way.
fantastic movie. More comic book heroes. I can't tell you anything about it. Believe me when I tell you that it was as good, if not better, than the first one. Go see it on the big screen as soon as possible. It's just that much fun. I've seen it twice since opening day.
All right, thank you.
Nickelback Rick.
So Nickelback Rick,
Yes.
let's give us all the information where people can find you.
Um,
If they want to come to your room, just show up and sign the list by 7.
Yeah, if you want to find me, I'm on Facebook, Rick Wayne. I'm also Nickelback Rick. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, all those great social media places. I run the room at the Earl and Rachel Smith Strand Theater, 117 North Parkway on the Marietta Square. Every Wednesday night, 7 to 11. Go to 7. The doors open at 7. We start the stage at 7:30. I also have a show I want to promote really quick. It's
Jeez.
coming up June 1st at the
We
Red
need to
Hair
go.
Brewing. It's called Leave the Office Early Day. It's on Friday, June 2nd. It's a band and 5 comics. 5 comics are me, Keith Vance, H.T. Rosen, Connor Preston Bentley, and Will Foskey.
Yes,
And
that's
starts
gonna be
at
great.
5 and goes to like 9. And they're a great brewery. And they said if it goes well, I'll do one once a month for them. So I'm hoping that pans out, does very well.
Well, I'd love to join if you do
All right.
get them.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of the whole idea is if it does really well, I want to bring a lot of comics in so I could get some people some
Well,
more
I mean, I would
exposure.
just
And
check it out.
well, yeah, but I'm trying to. If I get it on a monthly thing, I'm going to be trying to rotate. Comedians I want to put up. So.
I'm down.
Right. And I love switching up my sets. And I also have a show coming up. It's haven't dropped the list of who's going to be on it yet, but I think it's July 19th at the Earl and Rachel Smith Strand Theater on the big stage. It's going to be called Comedy Luau. Tickets will be $10.
Luau.
Yep.
You said luau.
Everybody gets
I'm
laid.
in.
So,
I love it.
And with that,
Right.
That was a good pun. Everybody
Thank
gets
you.
a lay. Everybody gets a lay. Yes, I
And
already
that's
got my
what I'm
Hawaii
doing.
shirt for that event. That's what's up. Does any of the money go to the people in Hawaii?
no, we're a nonprofit.
oh my
so.
God, though, that is some shit, though. That is some Mother
That's
Nature.
I'm sorry,
fucking
but
some
that's some
shit
beautiful
up,
shit.
boy.
What the Hawaii?
Yeah.
That's
I
some
mean,
beautiful shit.
You see that shit when
I
the
watch that
helicopters
shit
are
and I'm
flying
like,
over
oh
that
my
shit
gosh.
at night. It's like,
Or when it's spewing out like a waterfall into the water. I'm just like, damn, I wonder if the fish are like... Ugh.
Right.
It's Cattiis, man. Shout out to
Yes.
Digital Mass.
yes,
And
yes.
Mr. Cope, it's Cattiis, your sarcastic pervert. You can find me pretty much at any open mic, but you can book me if you want. I'll come and kill that stage. Shout out to my wonderful guest, once again, Nickelback Rick and my
Nickelback
motherfucker.
Rick.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Nick.
All right, brother.
Yeah,
Great
Nick.
being here. Thanks for having me on,
Nickelback
guys. It was
Rick,
fantastic.
man.
Yes,
I love it.
yes.
Shout Shout yourselves out, my hosties.
You already know, man. It's your neighborhood player partner B, man. Appreciate y'all.
Shit,
Love
shit.
y'all always. Stay high, my friends.
Krunkle Sam.
Always,
Stay
always.
high. Krunkle
Always.
Sam. Krunkle Sam.
The
Krunkle
world
Sam.
spins around.
The other white guy.
Smoke weed. The world.
Is this the Pot 60 podcast?
The pot. That's what I should name it. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was great, man.
Woo! You killed it.
Need more time and air conditioning.
They about to move this.